is here. So excited about day 3 of this challenge. We've got thousands of people joining us backstage, thousands of people watching on Facebook. I got off the phone with Pat and Eric this morning, and I'm blown away at what's happened on day 1 and day 2, and really excited about what's taking place on day 3. I'm curious, for everybody out there, how many days have you been here? Have you been here 1 day? Is today your first day? You've been here 2 days, or you've been here 3 days? In the chat, on Facebook, backstage, let us know 1 day, 2 day, or 3 day. Here's what I want you to know. If this is your first day seeing anything, you couldn't have picked a more powerful day, because we've been talking about the 5 presentations that every network marketer should master. And we've been through these first 4 already. And today we get to the top of the spear, the top of the pyramid. But here's the cool thing. Eric is going to be in here shortly, recapping at a high level the power of 1 through 4. And then today, not only are we going to talk about the 5th one, we're going to talk about how you use these to actually build your business. How do you use your story? How do you use your signature talk to build your business? So you couldn't have chosen a better day. Day 3. Don't worry if you've missed day 1 or day 2, because you're going to get everything today in the next 60 to 70 minutes. And I'm so excited about it. I want to congratulate the thousands of you that submitted your story. Yes, thousands upon thousands of you submitted your story. If you submitted your story, write the word story, because we want to see who submitted their story. Who actually submitted their story? Well, guess what? Today, at the end, we're going to announce the 30 stories that stood out the most to us as the GoPro and a presentation power challenge. As many of us reviewed them, we had so many people on the team reviewing them. And we're going to announce the 10 that will share their story in front of you on Saturday, in our bonus training day on Saturday, where Pat, Eric, and myself will be giving coaching and feedback to those 10. And as we give feedback to those 10, I can guarantee you that it will serve all of you. There's been over 10,000 people live every day. There's close to 100,000 people watching this every day. It's been an amazing 3 days, and I'm so excited because at the end today, we are going to announce the people who will be moving to Saturday to get to share their story. So make sure you're here at the end. You want to be present here at the very, very end. And so a couple of things, just so you know, before we get into today. Number 1, tomorrow we've added a bonus day where you're going to be hearing from several network marketers and how these 5 presentations have transformed their business. And you're going to get to hear how they started out, even when they were in their own minds, thinking, I'm not good enough, I'm not powerful enough, I'm not like that person. You're going to hear how they have evolved and continued to invest themselves into these 5 presentations tomorrow. Same time, same place. On Saturday, you're going to get to hear 10 of your peers share their stories and get coaching and feedback on Saturday. So yes, we got 2 bonus days. You're going to want to hang out for that. And so this is what I want to say today as we get started. Like, what has been the biggest takeaways for you? What's been the biggest takeaways for you? In the comments, yes, engage in the comments. There's thousands of you here, thousands of you on Facebook. What's been the biggest takeaway for you? Because here's what we believe. The number 1 marketing and sales asset that you have that will recruit more distributors, recruit more customers than anything else is you as a presenter. You as a powerful presenter. And what has happened is in day 1, we talked about your story and how you share your leader's story and how you share your own story. And in day 2, yesterday, Eric, mind-blowing, talked about opportunity presentation, the getting started presentation, and the training and skills presentation. And he only tackled 1 skill yesterday, how to duplicate powerful presenters on your team. So we've covered all 4 of these, and today we're getting to the 5th. And we got lots of prizes that Eric has talked about giving out. We're going to be tackling all of that. But here's what I want you to ask. I want to ask you a question before I bring Mr. Worre up. Last night's homework assignment, you made a commitment to these 5 presentations. You made a public declaration and a commitment to how committed you were. And so my question for you is, we saw lots of those videos yesterday. I got to watch a lot of them, and they were powerful commitments. I'm going to ask you, with thousands and thousands of people here backstage on Zoom. Yeah, we opened up backstage on Zoom, and if you're on Facebook, you're okay. You're still there. That's fine. But we wanted to give people the opportunity backstage to do Q&A today. We're going to do Q&A today, and we will stream it to Facebook as well. But we wanted to get the questions here in backstage Zoom. Here's my question to you. What commitment, how committed, in your own words, and why are you committed, and how committed are you to these 5 presentations? Why and how committed are you? How committed are you on a scale of 1 to 10, and why? How committed are you and why? I want to see that in the comment section. I want to get on Facebook here in a minute and see it in the Facebook comment section. I want to see the commitment that you have to these 5 presentations, because today we bring the entire thing full circle. And so, Eric, I'm excited today because I know that before we dive into the top of the spear, you're going to come and you're going to recap the power of the first 4. So anybody that wasn't with us on day 1 or 2 that are watching this live or watching the replay can get a high level of the importance of the first 4. But then we're going to have, the great Pat Quinn talk about this 5th one today. And then I will close out the content today of showing them how to use this to actually build their businesses, their leadership, their organizations, and so on. And so, Eric, it's been an incredible 2 days, man. I'm gonna turn it over to you. So, guys, give a lot of love in the comments to Mr. Eric Worre.
Hey! Thank you, Pete. I really appreciate it, and I'm excited. It's so much. We have thousands of people watching on Facebook, of course, but we also have thousands and thousands watching in the backstage in Zoom. And what's so much nicer, Facebook's great, don't get me wrong, but to be able to see the comments in real time just flying through and how many people are having a breakthrough, that's why we're doing what we're doing. We want to see you have a breakthrough. We want to see you to take your life experience inside of network marketing and go to another level. And I will tell you, we've talked about these 5 things. I'm going to recap them, and I'm going to do it relatively quickly because I want to get you into Pat and Pete. But before I do that, one thing, tomorrow, we're adding a bonus day tomorrow. And let me tell you about the 6 people we're going to be having a conversation with, and we're going to take you behind the scenes as to how these people became powerful presenters and what it did for their business, where they started, their story, how they got there, and hopefully that'll inspire you to get there as well. Tony and Sarah Zalecki, who you're going to hear from a little bit later in this broadcast, actually, husband and wife team exploding around the world. They've become master presenters. They're headed towards, multiple of more than $1 million a year in earnings. I'm not going to go beyond that, but Tony and Sarah Zalecki are going to be sharing their story of how they did it. Number 2, Stormy Wellington. Stormy Wellington, one of the most dynamic women out there. She's going to be sharing how she learned how to become a great presenter and how she's used that to be able to grow her team. Number 3, Emily Vavra. If you saw Emily at our GoPro stage or any of the previous events, powerhouse, unbelievable woman, going to be sharing her journey. Number 4, Darnell Self. Been friends with Darnell Self for decades now, and one of the most dynamic presenters in the world. You're going to hear from Darnell. Tim Sales. Anybody ever heard of Tim Sales? The Brilliant Compensation, one of the great trainers in the world. He's going to be teaching how and why presentation power is such a big deal. And Lauren Lahav. Lauren Lahav, she's worked with Tony Robbins for decades. She leads many of Tony's workshops, the Life Mastery workshops. She's going to be a part of this. So these 6 people plus myself are going to be really mapping out the personal journey and the transformation of stepping into presentation power. That happens tomorrow at 11 a.m. free, 11 a.m. Pacific time, same time as this, free of charge for each and every one of you. Okay. We want to over deliver, give you as much value as possible. The biggest thing is all of us want to see you have a breakthrough. That's what we want to do. And we started with the power of story. Story being such an important element, your calling card, learning to tell your story. And I'm so proud of you. Like Pete said, I am so proud of each and every one of you that submitted your story. And it's thousands and thousands submitted your story with the hashtag #MyStory. And we're going to announce 30 of them that we picked out. We're going to be picking out 10 of them to coach them on Saturday. Pete and Pat are going to do that. And whether you're getting coached or not, watch that coaching because it's going to help you. I'm proud of the people who submitted it, but I'm also proud of the people who thought about submitting it because you're stepping towards a breakthrough. Some of you said, you know what, I was going to, but I didn't quite get there. I was going to make it happen. I took a step closer. I'm still proud of you for doing that. We're going to get you to be a storytelling machine through this process. And when you do, your business and your life is going to change dramatically. Okay. So I want you to be proud of yourself for being here, for showing up for 3 days, for stepping into your greatness. Some of you are doing it at crazy times of the day or night. I'm proud of you for being here. So storytelling number 1, opportunity presentation number 2. I gave you the template yesterday, and I hope you took notes because it's down now, but I hope you took notes. And no, it's not too late for you to put your story up there. Put your story up there for your own sake. But the perfect presentation, I've used it for 30 years. I would use it if I was actively building the field today. The first thing I would do is create a perfect presentation for my company. That presentation not only is does it work, but it duplicates. So I hope that you took some notes. My to-do list for you is that you, number 1 on your to-do list is to get your story. Number 2, and practice it. Number 2 on your to-do list is to create your perfect presentation based upon the outline that I gave you yesterday. The third to-do list for you is the getting started presentation. I talked to you yesterday about the onboarding piece and then the launch piece and the specific conversation that you need to have with a brand new person. That conversation will change the entire game. Okay? Now, the to-do list is for you to map this out. And the real key here, if you have a verbal getting started process, in other words, it's in your head, you're going to get one level of duplication. But if you can get it on paper, and be able to go through with somebody and hand it to them, you're going to have a different level of duplication. So my to-do list for you is to take that getting started process that I went through yesterday and get it onto a piece of paper. Critical that you get it onto a piece of paper. Okay? And then the fourth piece was understanding why, identifying the skills that you want to have trained. The highest trained team wins. The highest skill level team is going to win over the long term. You can have momentum comes and goes, but if you build up the skills of your organization, you let them know why, you let them know what's the payoff if they do it, you reward them for the process. That little formula that we went through yesterday. Take inventory of the skills of your organization on a scale of 1 to 10. What's the skill level of your organization? And then pick one at a time. One that I would have you pick, because we're talking about presentation, is to focus on how many great presenters can you get trained up on your team. And if you got a small team, that's fine. Start with you. Find somebody else inside of your team that might be a workout buddy with you, and you'll kind of become great presenters together. But dedicate yourself to this skill. It buys you time for all the other skills. So these 4 are really critical. I'm really excited about today because Pete Vargas and Pat Quinn both are experts at the 5th. And before I even introduce Pat, I want to help you get past what might be a limiting belief in your mind. This idea of having a signature talk, this idea of having a keynote presentation, this idea of you having the ability to tell a story that impacts the world, you might not believe it. You might not believe that you have it within you, but I promise you that you do. I promise you that your story can impact the world. Okay? If you think your story can impact the world, I want you to put my story into the comments. Put my story into the comments. Let me see. If you think your story can impact the world, if you think if you figure this skill out, that you can have an impact. And what is more rewarding than an impact? What's more rewarding than being able to have make a difference in somebody's life? Now, I want you to understand, as you're typing in my story, just the act of you typing those few letters, whether it's on Facebook or it's on Zoom, just the fact of you doing that is a declaration. It's a step forward in your breakthrough process. Some of you are scared to do it. Some of you are a little too cool to do it. You know, some of you are like, I don't need to do it. Nobody's going to notice. That chat's going so fast anyway. It doesn't even matter. It matters, not to us, but to you. It matters to you when you take the step. Okay? So here's what I want to do is I want to bring in one of the highest paid, most sought after, most influential speaking coaches in the world. I don't know if he'd call himself a speaking coach, but he's that's kind of what he does. We've had people in our high-level masterminds go to him for a weekend workshop, pay $10,000 for a couple days just so they can leave there better equipped to be able to tell their story. So to learn how to tell your story, let me pass the baton over to Mr. Pat Quinn. Pat, the floor is yours.
Hey, thanks, Eric. I'm excited to be here today because this talk, this one of the 5 in the pyramid, the one at the top of the pyramid, we call it the signature talk. This is the one that can blow the roof off the place. This is the one that can make your dreams come true and have there be, the sky's the limit when you figure out how to do this one. The first 4, you got to have your story. That's the base of the pyramid. You have to be able to explain the opportunity. That's important. You have to have that enrollment or getting started presentation down. That's a game changer from yesterday. And you have to be able to train your team with advanced skills because the best trained team will win. But at the top of the pyramid, we have the signature talk. And I remember the day my business changed forever. For the first time in my business, the first period of time for years, I was out chasing. Every day I woke up and I knew I had to go chase down people who might be customers, chase down people who might be part of my business. And I was hunting all the time. And one day it all changed. One day it all changed. And instead of hunting, my phone started ringing. Instead of chasing, my email inbox was full of people who wanted to do business with me, full of people who wanted to join my team. It changed everything. What changed? What changed was how I thought about myself and how I positioned myself for others. See, instead of thinking of myself as somebody who had to go out and sell something to people, I changed how I thought about myself and I changed how I positioned myself to others. And I started thinking about myself instead as an expert on a certain topic. I started positioning myself to others as an expert on a particular topic, not my products and not my services, but instead I started to picture myself as an expert on a topic related to my products and services. And I started to tell people I could speak and present and teach on that topic. And you know what happened? People wanted me to speak and present and teach on that topic. Two things changed. How I viewed myself changed, because I suddenly viewed myself not as a salesperson, not as somebody who had to convince somebody of something, but I started viewing myself as a teacher and somebody who had something to offer, even if somebody didn't buy something from me. And so the shift that I want you to make is to not think about going out and selling someone or going out and convincing someone or going out and even recruiting someone. The shift that I want you to make in this final top of the pyramid is to go out and think of yourself as an expert on a topic. And we are going to put together a signature talk. What's a signature talk? It is not going up to people and saying, I have a product and a business opportunity for you today. That's not what this is. What this is positioning yourself as an expert in a topic related to your products and services. So what might that topic be? Well, let's say you sell beauty products. Your company that you're with sells beauty products. Perhaps you could put together a presentation on how to look great even when you're tired, or how to have beautiful skin even in the middle of winter. That one would play pretty well in Wisconsin right now. It's about 5 degrees below zero where I am right now. How to have great skin, beautiful skin, even in the middle of winter. Now that's a topic that people would ask you to give. That's a topic that people would invite you in and say, hey, we've got a group of 10 ladies who meet at the library for book club. Would you come talk to us for 15 minutes about great moist skin in the winter? Or, hey, we have a group that meets at one person's house. Would you come in and talk to us about how to look great even if you're tired? Now, if you sell supplements, if the company you work with has supplements, maybe you could have a presentation on how to have high energy all day, or how to sleep less and accomplish more, or how to avoid illness throughout the flu season. You could be an expert on that topic. And so today I'm going to show you how to put together a signature talk. What's that? That's a presentation that you can give to groups of people. It's a presentation where you're not there selling your products or offering people a business opportunity. It's a presentation where you are an expert on a topic. Here's what I want you to know. Once you start being viewed as an expert on the topic, your inbox is going to fill up with questions. Your phone is going to start to ring and get texts with questions. Questions like, which of these products do you recommend? Questions like, hey, I know you talked to us about this problem, but I have this related problem. Do you have a solution to that? Questions like, I love what you do. Is there any way I can do what you do? They'll be coming into you, not you chasing out after them. That's the power of a signature talk. So I want to show you exactly how to do this. A signature talk could last any length from 10 minutes. You might just give a short 10-minute presentation to a group of people in their living room, or it could go as long as 45 minutes. You could keynote a local conference for senior citizens, keynote a local women's conference. You could get invited to be on a podcast. You could get invited to be on a webinar on a certain topic, and you will be positioned not as somebody who represents a company, not as somebody who is offering a business opportunity. You will be positioned as someone who is an expert on that area. So if your company sells air purification, you could give a presentation on how to have cleaner air in your house. Here's how you'd put that presentation together. Everybody can follow along. You just have to plug in a topic related to your products, a topic related to something related to the products that your company sells. First part of this 4-part framework, it's got 4 parts. We call it the story braid framework. Please do not start with, I have some products and a business opportunity with you today. That is not how we're going to begin, because nobody is going to ask you to speak on that topic. Nobody's going to invite you in and say, I'm going to give you this group of people for 30 minutes if you start like that. So how should you start? You should start with an opening story. We call this the opening heart story. Why? because you don't want to start with your content, you don't want to start with your products, and you don't want to start with your business opportunity. You want to start with story. Story to connect to the audience. The purpose of this is to connect with the audience. Tell a story that gets every head in the room going like this. This is how you know if you have the right story. Whether you're online, like on Zoom, or whether you're in the room with people. If during your opening story, people are like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. So if I were giving a presentation on healthy skin this time of year, healthy skin all winter, I'd be like, hey, you know, this time of year, my hands start to be dry and itchy. My hands start to crack. Sometimes I put, I'm from Wisconsin, we put udder cream on our hands. We use it on cows' udders, but we also use it on our hands. My skin's so dry. I'll tell a story. And everybody in the room should be going like this. If they're not going like this, I have the wrong story. Okay. And so if your presentation topic is love the way you look in clothes, and you're going to help people look better in clothes because that's related to the fitness products that you sell or the dietary products that you sell or something that you sell, how to look great in your clothes, you could tell an opening story about a time when you didn't feel good about looking in your clothes, how you looked in your clothes, how you didn't like what you saw in the mirror. The purpose of the opening story is to connect. And so tell a connecting opening story. That brings you into our second section. Second section of the presentation is your content. Now, you actually do have to have content to teach people. Do not mention the name of your company or your products. Do not mention a business opportunity. Instead, teach them, help them. You've been helping people in this area with your products for a while. You must have learned something. If you don't know anything about the topic or the products you sell, do some research. Google it. Google the top 10 tips and name your topic the top 10 tips, and then just go through the list of the top 10 tips. But you actually have to help people. So if the purpose of this opening story was to connect, the purpose of this section is to actually help them. The whole thing only works if you really help them. Not help them buy your products, not help them start a home-based business where you can make money part-time. Help them solve a problem that they have. Help them solve a problem that they have related to the products that you sell. But do not talk about your products. Why? Because the moment you talk about your products is the moment the audience is going to start viewing you not as an expert, but as a salesperson. And that is not what we're here for today. Today we are positioning you as an expert. And that will cause inbound traffic into your inbox, into your direct messages, onto your Facebook page. I tell you, you give one great signature talk like this to one group of 12 people in your hometown, and you tell all of them at the end, if you love this presentation, can you post that on my Facebook page or post that on your Facebook page? It is going to be fireworks on social media, and you're going to get about 10 more requests to give presentations by the end of the week. Once people hear that you're a great presenter and you help people, hey, thanks for helping me with my cooking. Thanks for helping me with my finances. Thanks for helping me with the air quality in my home. Thanks for helping me with my fitness. Whatever it is that you sell, create a presentation on a topic related to it. And trust me, they will ask you what products you recommend. They do it every time. I'm a speaking coach. Do you know how often I get asked what microphone I use, what web camera I use? I'm not in the business of selling them, but if I was, see, I've positioned myself as an expert on speaking, and people ask me all the time, what story journal do you use? What microphone do you use? What web camera do you use? That's all they ask about products on their own. And I don't even sell any of those products. Think if I did. And so that's the second section. This section can vary in length. You have an opening and a closing that are like 5 minutes each. So if you have 15 minutes to speak, you probably have like 5 minutes to teach one or two things. But you can also give a 30-minute presentation. We had a local health conference here in town. Even in the middle of a pandemic, we had a local health conference that about 300 people attended. And somebody came up and gave an opening story, a closing story, and 30 minutes of good content in the middle. And man, they helped a lot of people. They gave really good tips, really good strategies. And afterwards, they walked off the stage and people were 6 feet away asking questions. You know, one of the questions they asked, What do you do to work out? What supplements do you take? What do you do for your nutrition? What's your morning routine? Every one of these is a conversation. If you name your product here, they don't have to have a follow-up conversation with you. But if you don't name your product here, then they can come up and you can have a conversation with them, or you can give them a card to say, if you want to have a follow-up conversation with me, you do that, or put a calendar link in the chat and say, if you want to have a follow-up conversation and ask me any questions, just click on the link in the chat. And they'll click on the link, they'll schedule a call. When was the last time you started a week with 25 calls on your week's calendar? Incoming traffic of people who already view you as an expert. That's what's possible with a great signature talk. Now, after your content, we've got 2 sections left. The first is a call to action. I'm going to put the number 1 here. 1 call to action. The call to action is not to buy my products. The call to action is not to hear my business opportunity. The call to action is one thing that you want them to do. Get in touch with me one way. Don't say you can direct message me. You can hit me up on Facebook. You can email me. You can call me. You can stop by my house. No, that's 6 calls to action. Give them one thing to do. I'd love to schedule a call with you. I'm going to put a link in the chat right now, and I'd love to schedule a call with you, hop on the phone with you if you have any questions. There it is. That's 1. And you'll start your week with a slew of calls. If you're at a live event, maybe there's a card. Fill out the card and turn it in before you leave. If you turn it in, I might even have a little bonus, a little treat for you if you turn it in. And the card just says, 1 box. Yes, I'd like to chat. Here's my phone number. Or you can text me at this number. And you have all these calls scheduled of people who are interested in your expertise, people who might be interested in your products. I'm sure some of those people are going to be interested in doing what you do because you're the expert. You're the one on stage. You're the one giving the webinar. You're the one hosting the event. That is your single call to action. And then don't stop there. Leave them with something inspiring. Leave them with emotion. We call this the closing heart story. And the purpose here is emotion. You want to get back to the emotion. So sometimes we call this heart, head, hands, and heart. The opening story appeals to their heart and it connects. The content appeals to their head and it actually helps them. Doesn't help them buy your products and it doesn't help them join your team. It helps them solve a problem in their life. Trust me, if you do that for them, they're going to want to buy your products. And they're probably going to want to join your team because you help people. That's the business we all want to be in. 1 call to action and an inspiring emotional finish. When I learned this, my business changed forever. When I learned this, I went from chasing down people and convincing them to people viewing me as an expert and chasing me down so I would teach them, and then they would ask questions. It changes the game. And I'm telling you that there's groups that want to hear you speak on your topic. There are groups that gather even in a pandemic, there are groups that gather every single week. I spoke last week at a church. I have a book on parenting, and there was a group of 12 moms meeting at a church. And they said, will you come in and speak to us about parenting? And I said, yes, I am an expert on parenting, on discipline, as a matter of fact. And so I went in and I gave it's actually a 20-minute presentation on parenting. 20-minute presentation on parenting. I wasn't there somebody trying to sell them something. I was there as somebody to help them. When was the last time you had 12 people just waiting to hear what you said about your topic? And then out of that, you could schedule probably 8 or 10 follow-up phone calls the next week just to answer questions and help them with other things. That's the power of being positioned as an expert. Those 12 women all posted on social media. Just heard a great presentation on parenting. So helpful, so beneficial, going to change the way I parent. And the next day I open up my inbox and there's 4 more requests for presentations. I don't even want to tell you the big secret. Some of these people pay me. Some of these people actually pay me to give this presentation, especially once I get a reputation as a pretty good presenter. Now, you don't have to be a world-class presenter. I coach Damon John from Shark Tank, and I coach Tony and Dean and Eric and Marina. I coach Pete Vargas. I coach some household names. But most of the people that I work with every single day are not professional speakers. Most of the people that I coach on this every single day are business owners just like you, who simply want to give a few presentations to grow their business, attract new customers, and grow their team. And you can do this. You have this in you. You can tell a story that connects. You can teach some content that helps people. If you don't have any content that helps people, go buy a Cosmopolitan magazine and pick one of their 10 tip articles. You can find this on Google, trust me. You can choose a single call to action. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a short conversation on the phone. And you can inspire them at the end to move forward and to keep going. And you put this together, you will be an expert, not a salesperson. You'll get asked to speak instead of chasing people down. And you'll have a steady flow of new customers and new team members coming in the door every time you do this. I know that Eric has grown his business through Signature Talk. I know that I've grown my business through Signature Talk. And Pete, the Signature Talk is what changes the game. It changes the game and gets people to view you as an expert rather than somebody who's trying to convince them. Change it up here for yourself first, change it in the minds of other people second, and the Signature Talk will be the greatest marketing tool that your business has.
Man, Pat, that's incredible, dude. Like I'm always taking notes, guys, and I'm always taking notes, always taking notes. What was your biggest takeaway from Pat talking about the Signature Talk? Facebook, I see there's thousands of you there. There's thousands of you backstage. What was your biggest takeaway from the Signature Talk? What was it? Because here's the deal. Why do you want to master all of these? You want to master all of these so that your business grows and you can serve more people, have more distributors, have more customers. Teach your team how to become great presenters and become a leader. The person who controls the mic is the one who's having traditionally the most success. And so that's why these 5 matter. And so this is what I want to do for about 15 minutes before, and I'm rolling up my sleeves. Roll up your sleeves with me, roll them up, because I want to show you. This is where I get stoked. If you don't know this, you should by now if you don't know me. But my dad and I's relationship was deeply impacted by one man who lost his daughter in the Columbine shooting in 1999. She was the first victim killed. And he came and shared her story. And when my dad heard her story and heard the father say, I had no idea that April 20th, 1999 was going to be the last day that I ever saw my daughter, it made my dad all of a sudden go into introspective mode and realize that he had never asked me for forgiveness for the abusive dad that he was growing up to me. And we made amends. And him and I have an incredible relationship today. But here's the more powerful thing. The man who shared his story, we figured out for the last 20 years, how do we take your story, make it heard by more people so that more people want to do business with you? Because when they do business with him, he changes their schools or their districts or their corporations. When people do business with you, you change their life, their health, their finances. You provide something to them that gives them an opportunity to consume a product that's transformational or participate in a company that can change their lives. That's the power of your story. So the last piece that I want to talk about today for about 15 minutes, and I want you to see the possibilities. And I'm going to take you through an activity here in just a second that I'm very, very excited about. But the last piece that I want to share with you today is how do you take these presentations that we're talking about, 5 of them that you said you're fully committed to. How do you take them and actually build your business with them? Can I share that with you? Does that sound good? I haven't ever shared this with this community, not in a deep way. And I'm beginning to do that today. And I'm really, really excited about it to share this with you because that man, we helped him grow to becoming a really, really big organization. And so I'm going to share my screen. Can all of you, if you can see Maya Angelou's picture right here, will you just say so in the chats for me? Can you see that? Can everybody see that? Yeah? Cool. Awesome. Yes, you can see it. And so this is a quote. Make sure you guys can see that. Am I getting yeses here? I want to make sure. Yeah, cool. So this is a quote from Maya Angelou here. And I love this quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. What Pat just said is he basically said, he gave you the framework on how to do that. Eric gave you the framework on how to do that in day 1 and day 2. And this is what I want you to know today. I want you to know that your signature talk is the greatest marketing tool that you have. It's something that you will use every single day. You can use it in one-on-ones, phone calls, calls with your upline, Facebook Lives, classroom settings, coffee houses, podcasts, live streams. What we're talking about is something you can use every day. And what I want you to see, that when you become, what Pat said, an expert, people's guards go down. Do you realize that people's guards are up whenever people approach them? Their guards are up. And I want to share one quick story around that. A lady, we were at a Grant Cardone workshop. Grant had Pat and I build a workshop out for him. Eric, people paid $10,000 to be at that workshop. And a lady comes out and she begins to share her opportunity presentation, which is a very important presentation, but you have to know in the context of when to share it. You share your opportunity presentation when people are subscribing or opting in or going to a place or an event to hear the opportunity presentation. But when they're not, everybody's guards will go up. And so Pat and I are leading this. We're walking them through just this one deal. They didn't get all 5 of these. We're walking them just through this one. They paid $10,000 just to be there for this one. And the lady, we say, hey, tell us who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself in a minute. And the lady said something like this. She said, what if I could show you a way to make money and lose weight? And instantly I could feel the guards of the 50 or so attendees go up. I could feel their guards go up because they went up for me. When she was done, I said, are you part of a network marketing company? And she said, how did you know? How did I not know? That was her opportunity to provide value and be the expert on a topic that she wanted to share with the room. And had she known the setting that she was in with 50 prime customers or distributors who might not ever go to an opportunity presentation, if she would have led with the signature talk, it would have changed the game for her. She had 50 prime customers, 50 people who had invested $10,000 to be in that room. And people felt like, ooh, but we changed it. We shifted it. I'm going to share with you here in a little bit what we did to change and shift it, but you just learned it for the last 30 minutes. I'm going to come back to that story. But what I'm talking about today, actually, I'm going to finish it right now because I feel like I'm supposed to. 3 hours later, she comes up there and she says something like this. For the last 25 years, I have battled with losing weight. I've battled with being obese. I've been up and down in my journey of my health, and it's like I never could have figured it out. And when I was in middle school, I got bullied and abused because of the way that I looked, and it created a self-image in me that had me not feel confident in myself. And over the course of the last several years, I have found myself losing the weight and keeping it off for the first time in my life. And I want to show you how I did it and how you can do it too. Whew. I hope you guys heard that. I hope you heard the difference. And then she goes to teach us how she did it, which has everything to do with her company and the products and services. Had she started that way, many of the people in the room would have wanted to engage her in conversations and say, tell me about the products you use, what services, like, how can I do that? Because of leading with value and being positioned as the expert. But I'm telling you, she still had people strike up conversations with her because this was power. In a room where you do need your opportunity presentation, but you got to know the audience that you're in front of. If you're in front of an audience that wants to be there to hear about your opportunity, that's what you deliver. But what the gift that Pat and I want to give to you today is that why don't you go be the one providing so much value and become that expert, and people will invite you in to speak in front of their audiences. That's what I want you to do. And so what does that look like? I want to show you what that looks like. Let me go back here for a quick second. I'll show you what that looks like. So you use this every day. And I just gave you a glimpse of what Pat just taught you. That's the demonstration of it. And so here's what I want you to know. You have the opportunity to really take to being on what I call other people's stages or your own stages. Other people's stages are people who've already curated folks that are in their crowd, and you get to come and provide value. And you don't have to be on big stages. My first stage was only 27 people because I was self-conscious. I had no confidence. I was in my head, but I knew I was an expert on a topic. And you're hearing about this topic today. And here's the power of this. Yeah, physical stages are gone, but digital stages are everywhere. They're everywhere. And you have the opportunity to take this expertise, this thing that you're passionate about, and go share that with one to many at a time. One to many at a time on other people's stages or your own stages. And you will begin to see many people raise their hand and want to have a conversation with you to say, tell me about what you do because your story resonated with me. And I need to know how you were here and you ended up going here. They will begin to ask you like they asked Pat to want to be a part of your organization. So where are those places? And I want you to write these down fast because I'm not going to talk about them for long, but let's just talk about the digital stages. I'm not going to talk about the physical stages right now because in our world, physical stages aren't around as much. So I'm going to talk about the digital stages that you, as a network marketing professional, can begin to go take your message to. And these can be dozens of people, hundreds of people. Maybe some of you feel called to thousands of people. Who wants to be on Eric Worre's stage in December? I'm sorry, on Marina and Eric Worre's stage on December. Like, who wants to be that person? Look at everybody raising their hand. Now your hands are getting in the way. Type that out. Yeah, I want to. Well, that's an example of another person's stage. And so here's 11 examples. I'm going to give you 2 more. You can go be on other people's social media lives. You can go be on their lives. You could be on their challenges. These are challenges. Like tomorrow, the 6 people who are here, that's incredible for them. They're going to get the opportunity to be in front of 10,000 people tomorrow. This is a challenge. These are happening everywhere. Many of you have seen challenges. You could be on somebody's webinar. You could be on your little local or state or national association training. They do trainings almost every week, if not every month. You can be on podcasts. You could be on other people's summits. You could be on other people's YouTube channels. Why aren't you getting focused on media for the expert that you are? You could be the subject matter expert in other people's courses or their membership sites. You could be the one speaking at other people's masterminds or their workshops. You could be the ones on virtual events like GoPro. Like, think about that. The people who got the opportunity to be on that stage in front of 35,000 people, and next year, 100,000 people. And I'm going to give you 2 more. You can be on what this year is the year of hybrid events. Number 12 is hybrid, meaning that People are in person and virtual. Next month, I'm on Grant Cardone's stage. There's 2,000 people that will be in person. There's tens of thousands of people that will be watching virtual. There's events right now happening with 20 people in person and 100 watching virtual. That should be you. Why? Because the people that are in person want to connect. That's why they're in the room. Yeah, they're going to be cautious with everything, precautions and all of that, but they desire to be back in a room. And the speaker or the content provider, the expert who's sharing in that room, they're going to feel connected with because it's been missing in their life for over a year. Hybrid events are the way of 2021. And the last one is Clubhouse. Yeah, Clubhouse. I haven't shared this with Eric and Marina, but Clubhouse last week was the number one source of leads and the number one source of phone calls that my team had in our business last week. Greater than any other source. And so this is what I want to share with you today. You have this unique opportunity to be on these 13 stages from a way that's providing value, not selling an opportunity, providing value. So Eric and Marina are hosting a room last night. And I'm like, yes, it's the first one I've seen. A lot of people who've hosted rooms are like, why you should be in network marketing or why network marketing is important. Like those things are definitely of interest, but typically it's going to attract the people who want to, not the people who don't know that they don't want to. They don't know what they don't know yet. So what's Eric and Marina's room? How you can, I can't remember the exact topic, but how you can empower your mind to do anything you want in life. Lead with value, lead with content, lead with you being the expert, and watch how they'll begin to raise their hands and say, tell me more about what you do. Clubhouse is one of the newest social media platforms, and I'm not going to explain it all, but what I want you to know about these 13 stages is you have an opportunity to be one to many. You have the opportunity. Grant Cardone, last year when I spoke at his event, Grant Cardone said, how much do you think I paid for this stage? You know, Grant, Uncle G, and people are like yelling, you know, money prices all across. And I don't remember exactly what he said, but I think it was 9 or 10 million. He's like, $9 or $10 million. This year for his event he's doing next month, he said $6 million. Well, last year when I heard him say $9 million, I got up on stage and I talked to people about the power of taking their message on other people's stages and being an expert and watching how customers, and in your case, distributors, will come into their world. And Grant said, I said, how much did Grant say it cost to be on this stage or to build this event? And the audience said, 9 or 10 million. I said, how much do you think it costs me? They said, nothing. No, they didn't say nothing. They said amounts. I said, it costs me nothing. That's the power of what I call OPSs, other people's stages. Is this man has built this brand for 25 or 30 years. He spent tens of millions of dollars. He's built this community. He spent 9 or 10 million on the event. And yet I've got the opportunity to share. Why? Because he knows the value and the content that I will provide to his audience. It's the same when I was on a stage of 12 people. When my friends said, yeah, you can come be on our stage of 30 people. They knew I would provide value. And what Pat Quinn just taught you is how to do that. The story that I shared with the young lady at that Grant Cardone workshop is an example of that. And now you've got the opportunity to go do it one to many. One to many. It could be a dozen. It could be 100. It could be 1,000. But my encouragement to you is to take to other people's stages. To take to other people's stages because of the power of what it will do in building your business. Now, listen, you can do the same exact thing, and there's several of you out there. I see some of you out there building your own stages. These same 13 things that I'm talking about, the 11 plus the 2 I added, you can do your own stages. I'm seeing several of the people who will be with us tomorrow, they're building their own podcasts, their own live streams, their own Facebook groups, their own virtual events. And here's the big misconception around this. A lot of people think, oh, I got to go do it in a national studio like Tony, or I can't do it in a studio like Eric and Marina's amazing $20 million studio. And what I want you to know is, no, that's me at a national studio at the bottom. But you see the middle one, that's me at a local studio that I outsource for about $1,000 a day. And you see me at the top one? The top one was where Grant Cardone said, Pete, send me how you have your setup there because it's so intimate and so personal. Yeah, that cost me a few $100s a day to outsource my setup so that I can do a virtual event right from my home or right from my garage and do my own events. And people come in because they want the value that I'm going to give them that Pat talked about. And as a result of that, they will then lean in and want to do business with you. Guys, what we're talking about today is the way that your story is going to help get you ROI. I want you to imagine that you're in front of 80 people. Let's just do 80. Let's keep it really small, really intimate. 80 people. It could be on a live, it could be on somebody else's stage, it could be on your own stage, but you're providing value and you speak for 20 or 30 minutes, maybe 60 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. But you do an incredible job of connecting with them. And here's what our data says. This is conservative data, 20 years. We have booked 25,000 stages out of our offices. Our students and customers have booked over 170,000 stages in the last 2 years. And our data says that 8 of them will become clients of ours or clients of yours. 8. If you're in front of 80 on your own stage or other people's stages, 8 of them will become clients. And so this is what I want to ask you guys. And I want you to put this in the chat. I'm going to bring Eric up in about 3 minutes because we've got some massive announcements today that we've got to give of our winners. But I want to ask you the question. Let's say it's you. I'm going to scratch this out and use 80. I'm going to scratch this out and we'll come down to this in a minute. Let's say it's you sharing your story. Sharing your story. I'm going to stop the share here for a second. And you just speak to 80 people. And 8 of them become distributors or customers. You can use it whatever you want. Customers or distributors. Choose one or the other. Yeah, 10%. That's right. I'm curious. That's just one stage of 80 people, you providing value. Dozens and dozens of them raising their hands. Probably 40 to 60 of them, you do a good job, are going to ask you to have a conversation or want to talk with you or want to engage with you. Yeah, 50 to 75% of them will want to engage with you and have a conversation. Let's say 8 of them become distributors. What? Hey, stay here with me. Don't worry about Clubhouse right now. We'll answer some questions on the back end. What is 8 new distributors worth to you in your business? 8, or you could say customers. What's 8 new distributors worth to you in business? I don't want a lot. I want a solid amount. Not tons, not huge. Yeah, look at some of these. Not next rank. What is the monetary value of that for you in your business? Everybody on Facebook, I want you to see the power of this because this becomes a one-to-many, even if it's a few dozen. The last question I have is now, why does Eric want one of the skills for you to teach your team to be around becoming a powerful presenter? Because we don't want it just to be about you. We want it to be about your team and duplication. So take the amount you just did and now multiply that by 10. And maybe it's not the same with them, but maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know your compensation plans, and that's not what I'm trying to get at. But what happens if your team of 10 of the people in your team become dynamic at presenting? And as a result, they're in front of 800 people, 80, one stage of 80. Each one of them are on one stage of 80, which means 800 people. And they attract 80 new customers or distributors. Yeah, we don't want you to be the dancing bear. Yeah, we want you to be a powerful presenter. But even when you're not presenting, your team is presenting with power. These are the things that begin to happen when this skill of these 5 areas are mastered by you. So guys, this is how I want to close. And I really hope this is an encouragement to you today. But what I want to do is I want you to know, like, some of you are like, Pete, like, yeah, Grant Cardone stage, like that's a big stage. Eric Worre stage. 5 years ago, I was on my first stage. Pat Quinn was there. 27 people. 27 people presented a signature talk. And 12 of them became clients of mine. 12 of them. Then you get good and you evolve and you get asked to be on a bigger stage. And now I'm in front of hundreds of financial advisors. 3 years ago. Hundreds of financial advisors 3 years ago. Michael Phelps is the opening keynote. He's making like $150,000 or $200,000. Howie Mandel's the closing keynote. He's making like $150,000 or $200,000. I'm the Mexican in the middle that nobody knows. And they're only paying me $15,000. That means these guys were making 10 times more than me on each side. But I got to talk about our $10,000 workshops at the end. They let me talk for 3 or 4 minutes about our $10,000 workshops. And 125 of those advisors became clients of ours that weekend. That's $1 million stage in new business. Howie, or Michael Phelps plus Howie combined, didn't get anywhere near to what we did because of everything that we're teaching you here. And the last thing I want to share with you, because here's one of the biggest misconceptions and mindset things ever. Now I'm go from dozens to hundreds to thousands. And I get invited to speak in front of thousands at Grant Cardone's event a year or two ago. And what you will notice about everybody on that, my wife was with me and my team was with me. And as we went through Miami Marlins Stadium, the constant thing people would say are, who is this guy? Who's Pete Vargas? Who is that? And we just kind of giggled because nobody knew who we were. Nobody knew who I was. You might feel like nobody knows me. I'm a best kept secret. Well, you provide value. You're going to go from people wanting you in front of dozens to hundreds to thousands. I'll tell you what, that weekend, we landed just shy of 1,000 new customers. And I brought up that slide at the end. I said, who is this guy? He's the guy that just taught you how to win any stage that you want. And you don't have to be the best kept secret. I was the only guy on that screen, or only person on that screen that didn't get a phone call. I had to actually go win the stage. And so what are we talking about today? What's common about all of these people is that they have used other people's stage. Yes, they're clients of Pat and I's, but they have used other people's stages and their own stages to build their business. But the majority of people who we have worked with are everyday entrepreneurs that are just powerful presenters. And by being a powerful presenter, they're able to attract more business than they ever have before. That is a common theme in all 4 of these that you see right here that are all in the network marketing profession. You know, Eric Worre made a comment yesterday, and Eric, I'm going to come to you. Eric Worre made a comment. He said, you know, I'm one of the highest paid speakers in the world. And the reality is, like, he said something of the sort, like, maybe not presidents, maybe not Hollywood folks, maybe not celebrities. You know, we've been honored to be able to work with Eric and Marina. But what I would tell you is everything we're teaching you, Eric, when he presents, he actually has the opportunity to do greater than the highest paid keynotes in the world because of having a product suite and not just having a keynote fee. All of you have a product and a service. You have the opportunity to bring customers and distributors in. And that is why we, for 3 days, have focused on these 5 presentations. Because if you master them, and Eric's asking you to master them, and you have committed yesterday to mastering them, we believe that you will become unstoppable. And so, Eric, man, that is what I got. I would love for us to help them all build all of these 5 out. I'm going to turn it over to you, man, but that's how they use their story and use these presentations to build their companies, build their teams, build their leadership.
Pete, thank you so much. And everybody, show your love for Pete Vargas in the comments. Go do something, go up and down, go crazy, throw some emojis in there. He's in providing value. And Pat Quinn, listen, I've got some stuff I want to share with you, because some of you I've been seeing in the comments, we've been getting feedback, are feeling a little overwhelmed. You're feeling like there's so much to figure out. There's so much to do. What we've talked about over these 3 days is this: the 5 presentations every network marketer should perfect. Can you throw that up for me? All right. These 5 presentations, every single one of you need to perfect. You need to perfect your story, not only yours, but people on your teams, the perfect opportunity presentation, the getting started presentation, the skills training presentation, and the signature talk. Now, if you're committed to perfecting these 5 talks, say I'm in the comments. Put I'm in into the comments. I want to see it. If you're committed, I'm in. All right, I'm seeing it's flying in the backstage and also in people on Facebook. I'm glad that you're in, because you figure this skill out. You know what I tell my kids? Learn how to be a great presenter, and you never have to worry about paying your bills for the rest of your life. Really, truly, and no kidding. Now, you attach that to a network marketing opportunity, it's exponential. But you learn how to master this skill, you never have to worry about paying bills the rest of your life. You can decide how high you want to go. Now, here's the big question. You know, these 5 are important and you're all committed. Here's the big question. Can we build all 5 of these with you? Can we build all 5 of these with you in 2 days? Is that even possible? Is it possible to do? You guys going to throw those up, or what's happening? Yeah. So if we created a presentation power experience just for you to help you build all 5 of these skill sets over the course of 2 days, would you be interested in learning how to do that? This is a piece of what we call a GoPro Accelerator program. And I want to tell you about a very special workshop that's coming up in just 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Throw it up, please. This is February 23rd and 24th in our big, huge, incredible studio. And over the course of these 2 days, between Pete and Pat and myself and some special guests, we're going to literally take this to-do list of your story, perfect presentation, getting started, skills training, and your signature talk. And we're going to convert that. Throw the next slide up. from a to-do list to a done list. How valuable would it be to have it done behind you, where, bring it back to me for a second. I will tell you what my plan is for these 2 days. I'm really excited about it because people are asking over the last couple of days. We're going to teach you specifically, and not only teach you, but coach you on how to tell your story. And we're going to have you practice it multiple times over the course of 2 days, giving you feedback every time. Second, I've never, ever done this, but I'm going to give you the script exactly word for word on the perfect presentation, not only a template, but the exact script for people who are part of this workshop, where you can fill in the blanks of your product and your company information, your comp plan, et cetera, and you can print it out and record it immediately. It's that strong. It's that time tested. It's amazing. I'm going to give you an exact presentation of the getting started process that we talked about. I gave you summary yesterday, but I'm going to give you detail, the exact game plan interview, the exact words to say, including a template that you can use in order to be able to map that stuff out for your company. Okay. And then I'm going to give you all the skills that need to be trained, how to train your organization, what the presentations need to look like to get your organization up to speed when it comes to skills. That's what I'm going to be covering. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4 with the feedback of Pete and Pat and our special guests and friends. But on top of that, they're going to come in with their very specific expertise and teach you how you can master your keynote, your signature talk over the course of these 2 days. Okay. So that's what's going to happen. We're going to turn your to-do list into a to-done list. And there's some stuff on top of this for people who say, yes, I want to be a part of it. This workshop by itself, just so you know, it's part of an accelerator program. It's a 1-year program that we're doing inside of network marketing. It's a $5,000 value, just the 2-day workshop. But we're going to give you a whole bunch of stuff, and then we're going to make the decision super easy for you by the time you're done hearing this, okay? So I'm excited. I'm way more excited about impact than I am about information, right? The information, you've been getting information, but now how do you put running shoes on it and make it go to work? Make it really turn into the impact that you want to make it turn into. So the week after this workshop, Pete and Pat are going to provide 6 weeks of coaching, real-time coaching, 6 weeks of presentation power training, real-time coaching, weekly accountability, Q&A sessions, so you can take the information. Now, they've charged a ton of money for this, a ton of money. And a matter of fact, Sarah Zalecki, you're backstage, right? Can we bring her in for a second? Sarah, are you there? Hold on. We're adding you. Are you there, Sarah?
Yes, she's
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
We're great.
So Tony and Sarah Zalecki, you guys paid, I don't know, like $8,000 or something like that to go to Pat Quinn and spend a couple days with him. Talk about the value of that coaching, because we got the 2-day workshop, and I know so many of your organization are part of Accelerator already. They're going to be part of the workshop, and they're going to be getting this coaching and everything else. But what is the value of the coaching? What did you experience personally? Because I know you're way up there in the 7-figure a year earnings, and you got a lot of people in your organization learning these same skills as well. Give people who are watching what they can expect from this type of coaching.
Okay, so I want to talk to the person that is maybe feeling a little bit overwhelmed right now, and also for the person that is just kind of really getting things going in their business, right? And so, like Eric talked about, I've been in the industry 20 years. I really love this workshop, guys, because here's the thing that I know is that our business is all about really being a chameleon and really learning how to share our story where just everybody can relate, right? And we've all seen people maybe tell a story before and we're like, wow, that was amazing. But then in the same breath, we're like, what did she just say, right? And I love what Eric talked about, because in my notes, one of the things that I wrote down when he asked us earlier to jump on is it's for all of us in network marketing, it is really about learning how to make that impact, guys. It's learning about how do we actually stand out, right? Most of us were building a business online. We're looking for ways of how do we stand out, right? How do we get people to pay attention to us, right? How do we become memorable? And that was really why we decided to join the workshop. And we knew that we had to find a way that people could really relate to us. And after they hear our story, they go, I'm in, right? And so I know that our business in network marketing, everything is about stories, guys. Like, we all learn how to become story collectors, how to share stories, how do we get people to relate? I mean, that at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Right. And so, I love that. Here's the thing that's so crazy, guys. So I'm in Tampa, Florida right now. Eric messaged me and said, hey, can you jump on this Zoom? I literally jumped on the pool with my kids and here I am right now. But here's what's amazing. Okay. So everyone asked me, like, what did you actually get out of this workshop? Here's what's wild. There is one notebook that I brought this weekend, one notebook. And you want to know what the notebook talks about? Head and heart and all the things that we're talking about today. I had no idea an hour ago that I was supposed to be on here. But this workshop, the things that Pete talked about, the things that Pat shared with us, I carry around with me because I understand the importance of sharing my story and getting better. And so I want to encourage you guys, like, what I love about this workshop is this signature talk. It's not about going out there necessarily. Like, I love how Pete talked about owning the stages, but let's be real. For a lot of us, that might sound a little freaking scary right now. Okay. Like, I get that, right? Because we're still learning how to build a freaking team. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how to do this. Okay. But here's what I love is that this signature talk is, guys, it's learning how to tell your story in 30 seconds. Whether it's 30 seconds or you're sharing a training that's a minute, whether you're doing a training that's 20 minutes, whether you're doing a training that's an hour, like, you're going to have the template on exactly on how to run with it, right? And how to jam. And that's the thing, is that it just gave us so much confidence to be able to go out there and share the story no matter what. When someone goes, you need to share a story, we're like, we got it. Whether it was 30 seconds or an hour, we felt competent, meaning we actually knew what to do to go out there, but then we felt confident, right, to go out there and hit a home run. So Eric, we loved this workshop. We loved that we had a chance to roll up our sleeves and get dirty and really kind of like figure out like what's our story and how to craft it and own it. And it just really gave us a ton of confidence to get out there and share it even more. And obviously, with sharing our story more, we're able to grow our sales and grow our team. So
let me ask you one quick.
We love Pat and we love Pete. I mean, they taught us so much.
Let me ask you a quick question. How much were you making when you went through this coaching experience per month approximately?
Can I say that on here?
I mean, this is an insider training thing. You're not trying to recruit.
I know, but isn't this live like everywhere?
Yes, it's live. It is kind of. Well, let me ask you this. What percentage growth have you had on your monthly income since you took this training?
100%. We went January last
100%.
year. Yes.
So you doubled your income in the last 12 months from a big number.
Yes, from a big number to a bigger number. Yes.
Twice as big number. All right, Sarah, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Get back to the pool. So listen, we're talking about the perfect presentation. And here's what I want you to think about, okay? Hear me out with this. There's one thing to have a course, and there's another thing to engage in an experience. An experience. I believe if you really want to absorb something, you need to be immersed in it. And what we wanted to create was an immersion experience. a presentation power breakthrough experience for you. And the first part is this workshop that we talked about, okay, where we're going to cover these 5 things. The second piece is 6 weeks of coaching. So we're not just done when the workshop's done on the 23rd and 24th. That's just the beginning, because you're going to get 6 weeks of coaching with Pete Vargas and Pat Quinn, real-time coaching, Q&A, weekly accountability, etc. But then on top of that, they're going to be recording a special stage to scale to a network marketing edition course, which is a 2-day immersive experience. So they're going to record this live. You're going to be part of that workshop creation live as they record that, and you'll get access to the recordings. You'll get access to all of it so you can watch as many times as you want. Now, in addition to that, what's the next slide? You get the Stage to Scale Network Marketing Edition course. Like I said, that's the course on top of the live. 50 videos, bonus vault, additional training, lifetime access, all of that. On top of that, we want to help you with the emotional side, because if you're feeling emotional or overwhelmed, this will help you. In January, we did a transformation month, and we had Dean Graziosi help you with gaining confidence, Trent Shelton on how to break through your fears, Lisa Nichols on eliminating limiting beliefs, and Grant Cardone on how to take massive action. Myself and those trainers, we're going to provide all the recordings to you, over 13 hours of recording, so you have those as part of this whole thing. And then finally, we have a presentation power execution workshop speak-off. You'll have the chance to share your story on the largest stage in network marketing during 2021 Virtual GoPro. Now, I just got to tell you about 2021 Virtual GoPro. We're planning on 250,000 people from around the world watching, and you'll have an opportunity to earn your way onto that stage. Pretty cool. So here's the whole deal, the whole thing. Go ahead. The Presentation Power Execution Workshop, live plus lifetime access to the workshop recordings on the February 23rd and 24th, 6 weeks of coaching from Pete and Pat, 2-day immersive experience with Pete and Pat, Stage to Scale edition. You got that course for forever, Network Marketing Edition, the GoPro January transformation recordings, and then the Presentation Power Execution Workshop Speak Off. If you add all that up, it's about $24,000 worth of value, an amazing immersion experience. But as you know, we're going to provide an incredible opportunity for you. It's not going to be that price. What we're doing, here's where you can get it all. All of this that you're seeing right now, you can get all of it for the following. Next slide. You can do 4 payments of $897 right now, or you can pay it in full, $2,950. You get all of it. Now, I've got to tell you, Sarah Zalecki paid $8,000 just for a tiny portion of this, $8,000. You can get all of this, the workshop, the recordings, the experience, the coaching, the feedback, the chance to be on the scale, the whole thing. Go back to that slide again. You go to networkmarketingpro.com/challenge. You can make 4 payments if payments are easier, or you can pay it in full and save a little bit if you have the ability to pay it in full. But I've got to tell you something. It's networkmarketingpro.com/challenge. You learn this skill, you never have to worry about paying bills the rest of your life. You really do. You're good. You're solid. You're going to be in great shape. So I want to encourage you to take the commitment that you said, I'm committed. I'm ready to go. I'm going to change my life. And what I tell people all the time, here's how I live my life. Say yes, tell the world, and figure it out. Some of you might have to do some stuff to figure this out. That's fine, but figure it out. And we have another bonus, which we just talked about this morning. I'll bring Pete on to talk about for a second. For the first 100 people who engage with this presentation power experience and all the things that we just described, the first 100, we have this fast acting bonus. The first 100 buyers are going to get feedback, specific personal feedback from Pat Quinn on their 2-minute story. He's going to give them personal coaching on their 2-minute story, in addition to what we're going to be doing at the workshop and everything else. So that's what we have for you. And again, Pete, can you jump in and just talk about it? Maybe you guys can put up the graphic that shows the link where people can get it while Pete is talking about it. Put Pete over the top of it or something. Can you talk about this? Because what I crave is your breakthrough. What I crave is your going to the next level and building your legacy. That's what I crave. And we have a bunch of people in the accelerator program that are going to be a part of this. And we just didn't want you to not know about this, so you could take your life and your business to the next level. So Pete, go ahead.
Yeah, man, I'm excited, Eric. Like, listen, presentation, these 5 things. The biggest piece is you get all 5 of those done in 2 days, built out. Pat, me, and Eric will be leading you through that. And during that time, you will be sharing in a small breakout room 3 separate times over the course of those 2 days. Unbelievable. Walk out of there with these 5 done. Not a to-do list, a to-done list. It's incredible. Eric, we have our signature course, Stage to Scale, which is around helping them build their business with their presentation power. They get access to that, lifetime access to that, plus the live coaching that we're going to do for the 6 weeks. It's actually 8 weeks, but I got it wrong. So it's actually 8 weeks of coaching. That's on me, where we're going to help them perfect not just their talk, but the building of their business. The 2-day immersive with us will be on the back end of that, because we want to help them perfect it. They're going to build it at the workshop. They're going to perfect it in the coaching. That's the key. Build, get it done. Don't worry about it being perfect, but we're going to help perfect it over the 8 weeks. And then, guys, I don't want to make light of the transformational recordings. Like, they're unbelievable. Those are unbelievable. And then the last thing that I don't want to gloss over is, Eric, we are going to conduct a speak off at the Presentation Power Workshop. We're working with our tech teams and all of that right now. And all of the people in there will be part of the speak off. And there will be 8 finalists on the stage at the end of the Presentation Power Workshop that will all be live there, with 3 of them competing for 3 really unbelievable prizes. And so that speak off is part of this deal and will be happening in 2 weeks. Even if you don't advance to the finals, you'll still be sharing your story multiple times. And I don't want to make light of that last thing. The first 100, you're going to get to submit your 2-minute talk to Pat, and Pat is going to give you feedback, so you have an advantage when you get to the workshop ahead of time. You will have that advantage. Eric, it's an unbelievable offer. I'm blown away at what you and Marina.
I'm also glad. Throw us both up on the screen, please. I'm also glad that you guys are both of us, please. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys are willing to offer this at such a deep discount from what you normally do for my network marketing friends. The people are asking how they can order. You go to networkmarketingpro.com/challenge. And if you have questions, if you see in my little box there, networkmarketingpro.com/challenge, first 100, going to get some extra coaching from Pat. If you have questions about any of this, just email support@networkmarketingpro.com. Our team's going to try and go through these comments as best we can to be able to find you and see if we can help answer your questions, because we want you to be a part of it. But on top of that, email support@networkmarketingpro.com. Pat, do you have any additional comments?
Oh, the 2 days is going to be absolutely amazing and life-changing, but there's so much else that's included here. The 2 days we're gonna go through, and you're gonna walk away with these 5 presentations done. I've seen so many comments on Facebook and so many comments in the chat here backstage. Could you just help me do this? Could you script these out for me? And I just love the fact that people are going to have an opportunity to dig deeper and do this. The Speak Off experience is priceless. And I can't wait to give extra feedback to the first 100 people who take action right now at networkmarketingpro.com/challenge and make the decision to say, I want to be there for those 2 days. I want to be there for the 8 weeks of coaching, and I want to be in that Speak Off. So let's get an early start and give those 100 people some early feedback. This is going to be life-changing, not just for their business, but for how they view themselves as a speaker, as a presenter, as an expert. This is going to be life-changing.
And I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm watching people in the comments. I'd love to do this, but I don't have the funds. What if you just got together with a couple people on your team and you experienced this together? What if I know I probably shouldn't be saying that, but if it was me and I didn't have the money, I'd find somebody who had the money and I would do it with them. That's what I would do. I mean, I just would not be denied this stuff because it's too valuable. It's just too good of information to be able to figure that out. A lot of people are asking about, like, can I get recordings of yesterday? Can I get recordings of the last couple of days? I will just tell you, at the 2-day workshop, we're going to do what we did in the last 2 days on steroids. You're going to have it so clean and so done for you, so empowering that you're going to leave those 2 days and you're going to have it. You're going to have it so strong. You could literally go to your company and say, here it is. Go make me some tools, please. Because it's going to be that clean. So just know that that's coming the 23rd and 24th, right? Is that the right dates? February 23rd and 24th. Yeah, 2 days in the big studio. And the other cool thing that we didn't even talk about, you're going to be up on the screen. We're going to be interacting with you live. The live chat's going to be going. We're going to be breaking you into breakout groups, and we're going to have you testing out your story, and we're going to give you all different kinds of assignments and workshopping that's going to happen live inside of this experience. It's going to be great. The other thing I'm going to tell you about the 2-day, the 23rd and 24th, if you're in the accelerator program, you already get the 2-day. Okay, so don't worry about that. Is when we did GoPro in December, it was live and there was no replay. For this event, it's going to be live, and I'm going to highly encourage you to be there because the interaction and the live coaching and the feedback and the break workshops and everything else is going to be worth it no matter where you are in the world. But we're also going to give you the replay. We're going to give you lifetime access to the replay of this 2-day workshop. So you've got this to be able to go and grow and build your business. So I'm excited about that. I don't know how, if we've hit our 100 that Pat's going to be grinding out the personal coaching. We were joking about it this morning.
I had to talk.
Yeah, we had to do some talking in order for him to do that. But Pete, why don't you give everybody your final thoughts and go to networkmarketingpro.com/challenge, and then maybe we can answer a few questions or whatever.
Yeah, Lexi, if you can, Pat's going to need to share his screen because we got our story winners that we're about to share here in just a second.
Oh, cool.
So
yeah, I forgot.
So hang out, guys. We're about to share the story winners from who've presented their stories thus far, and we're going to be coaching those on Thursday. And so, guys, we are excited, man. This is going to be incredible. Like you guys said, what are 8 new distributors worth to you? Like, what is that worth to you? Like, what I love about Eric and Marina is they think big, and they thought big even when the world wouldn't say, quote unquote, they were big. They've always thought big. They always think bigger than where they're at. Every time I'm around them, if they're here, they're thinking here. They're here, they're thinking here. They're always thinking bigger. And so a lot of you think bigger, like step outside of your mind for a second. Like Eric hit me up last week saying, man, we're doing a payment plan. Like we have to. Do you guys realize a 4-pay, but the workshop's in 2 weeks? Like he's betting on you. He's betting on you to be able to take and get these things built. Pat, I just believe that if people try to build these 5 on their own, it could take them a year, it could take them 2 years. And literally in a couple of days, they're going to get this built, get this done, and all of the other things that go along with it. It's unbelievable. So guys, networkmarketingpro.com/challenge. Pat, thoughts, and then let's talk about our story winners from this week's challenge.
Yeah, I think Eric has that slide. What I would say before we get to those winners is that sometimes when you watch Eric do it, or you watch you or I do it, I see in the comments and I see in Facebook, he makes it look so easy. Like when he does those 4 elements of your story, he makes it seem so easy. Or when I did the signature talk today that's going to change your business and change your life and how you view yourself, you just make it seem so simple. I wish you could help me with that. I mean, that is what these 2 days will do. We're going to take what seemed easy to us and make it easy for you. You're going to walk away from the 2 days with these 5 presentations, all mapped out, all sketched out for you. I mean, this is going to be life-changing, plus the follow-up coaching, plus the speak off. If you're on the fence, here's my worst nightmare. My worst nightmare is that you're sitting here 12 months from now wondering why you're in the same place that you are today. You're sitting here 12 months from now saying, I just wish there was something that would help jumpstart me. And it's really because you didn't make the decision today that will cause you to feel like that 12 months ago, but 12 months from now. But 12 months from now, I want you to look back on this day. On this day is the day that you made the decision. On this day is the day that changed your business forever. On this day is the day that you said no to your fear and yes to your future. And so I hope you're one of the first 100. I hope I will see you in a couple of weeks at this event. I'm just absolutely loving this. And I watched I watched a lot of videos in the last few days. Hashtag my story blew up the Facebook page. And man, I just love the fact that you shared your stories. We have some winners, I guess. We have a top 20, and then we have 10 that we're going to bring back on Saturday. But I want everybody who submitted a video to know that you won. And I don't say that because I like giving out participation prizes. I say that because you drew a line in the sand and said, I'm going to do it by the deadline. You put it out there even though it wasn't perfect, and they weren't perfect. Even the top 10 aren't perfect. And other people got to hear your story, learn from you, and get hope from you. And so every single one of you, the thousands of you that put in videos under hashtag my story, I just want to say congratulations. The credit belongs to the one who threw their hat in the ring, who jumped in the arena, and that's you. Congratulations. Eric, I think you've got a top 20 there. And then 10 of you.
Do we have it, guys?
What's that?
I guess we didn't get it. Somebody was supposed to send us the list. We're gonna have to. We'll post it in the GoPro Challenge group. This list of.
I can drop it into a Word document. I sent it to. Yep. I can pull it up here.
All right. Sorry.
It's okay. Give me a sec.
Yeah, Eric. So a couple of questions as Pat's pulling that up, and a couple of times. It's from 8 to 5 Pacific Standard Time every day, the 2 days. And don't forget, everything will be recorded. So don't worry about that. It's on the 23rd and 24th, which is coming up here in a few weeks. Accelerators, a lot of accelerators asking questions. Be looking for an email today, accelerators, because all of the pieces that there are 2 or 3 of the pieces that are already a part of the accelerator program. And so those 3 pieces, obviously, you're a part of. There's 3 pieces not part of the accelerator program, and we'll be emailing, Eric and the team will be emailing about that today. So just be looking for that email, because we're obviously taking great care of our accelerators, and you will see an email around that. That's a couple of common questions I see coming up, Eric. And Pat, can I do the drum roll, or you want me to buy a couple more questions?
One more question, Pete.
Okay. Don't forget, tomorrow, Eric's going to be with 7 unbelievable people tomorrow, people in the industry who have used presentations to really grow their business and really, talking to them. And then, Eric, I'm excited because these story winners on Saturday, we're going to bring them up here on Zoom. They're going to share their story in 2 minutes. And we're really going to highlight the things they did well and coach them on ways that they can get better on Saturday. So that's that. And guys, the last question is, this actually goes on Monday. The offer today goes away and the workshop goes back to its retail price of $4,900. And so, and that's just for the workshop. That's not all of the other 5 things that are included. So Monday night, the workshop price raises, and this special offer, this whole experience that Eric and Marina have put together, do go away on Monday night. And you can still buy the workshop for the next week, but it's at the $4,900 price. So, yeah. Go ahead, PQ. All right, man.
We are ready. Let's see it. All right, these are the top 20. I just want to say congratulations. These were great, and I won't be able, we'll post this on social media as well. But
take a screenshot if you know somebody on this.
Anthony, Arthur, Britta, Cheyenne, Curry, Devera, Hannah, Joe, Casey, Marcus, Jacob, Maria, Marianne, Michael, Miriam, Navina, Nikki, Stephanie, Webster, and Yvette. Great job. I love the way you told your story. I love the fact that you put it out there, and you are in the top 20. I just want to say congratulations to you. Now I'm going to scroll down to the top 10. These are the 10 that are going to be invited back on Saturday, and we're going to coach you live. You're going to give your 2-minute presentation live on Saturday, and then we're going to coach you. We're going to give you help. We're going to help improve it. And every single person watching, I hope everybody who's here today comes back on Saturday, because you are going to learn so much. You're going to get strategies. You're going to get techniques. You're going to learn a lot on Saturday by watching us work with these 10 people. So here they come. There they are, the top 10 that are going to be invited back on Saturday. And congratulations to you 10. I hope you all can clear your calendars on Saturday. Pete, you've been involved in having 10 people speak in front of a big crowd like this in the past. What are people going to learn? What are people going to love about this?
Yeah, people make a very misconception. They think it's the 10 who are going to get the most value, but actually it's not the 10 that get the most value, Pat, because the 10 are thinking so much about their talk that they can't necessarily hear the feedback. It's all of the people watching. You're going to learn things that all of these 10 do so well that you're going to make notes of and pick up on. And then you're going to get to hear the feedback that they get coached, which they might not be able to hear in the moment because they're so nervous, because it'll be the biggest stage of their life. And you will get to hear the feedback that you can also apply to yourself. It's a little glimpse of, the workshop, obviously, that will be happening in a couple of weeks. But Pat, everybody's going to want to be here the next 2 days and on Saturday as we do that. So it's going to be really, really exciting. And, yeah, Eric, we'll be posting that in the group. Eric, any thoughts or questions from you, or any thoughts you have?
Here's what I would say. Take a step forward in your life. These guys are offering up this up at a discount. People in the accelerator program are raving. If you're part of the accelerator program, tell the world how great this is. This is one part of it, this presentation power workshop, that we wanted to make available to everybody else, because this skill is such a highly rewarded skill. So networkmarketingpro.com/challenge will take you to learn all the information, do a payment plan, partner up with somebody, whatever you got to do in order to be able to take advantage of this, be a part of this, okay? Make sure you do that, be part of the first 100 so Pat can give you some extra coaching. In addition to that, tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time, we've got 6 of the top earners in network marketing and the best presenters in network marketing going to be sharing their secrets and their journey. So come back for that tomorrow at 11 o'clock Pacific time, 11 a.m. Pacific. And then on Saturday, Pete and Pat are going to be coaching those people on their story on Saturday. You've got from now till Monday to be able to take advantage of this offer. It goes away and all the prices go up. So I hope you take advantage of it. Say yes, tell the world, figure it out. That's what rock stars do. That's what leaders do. They get resourceful. They make it happen. So I encourage you to make it happen. I hope you gotten value from the last 3 days. That's my wish. That creates a to-do list. If you want to turn it into a to-done list, then let us help you. Okay? So we tried to make it as easy as possible for you to make a decision to be able to impact your life. If you do have questions, go to support@networkmarketingpro.com. Send an email to support@networkmarketingpro.com, and our team will reach out and connect with you and help you get your questions answered. Okay? So unless, Pete, you have anything else, we'll be ready to see everybody tomorrow. Go to networkmarketingpro.com/challenge, and we'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock Pacific time. That's it. See you later, everybody. Take care.